Confidence. The reason why I started this YouTube channel back in 2008 was to help you feel better about yourself. Because I know for me, when I was growing up, I didn't have that. I didn't have confidence. I didn't have self-esteem. I didn't feel great about myself. I've developed it over the years, and my thought was, hey, if I can make some videos or share some insights to help people feel better about themselves, it's gonna help you feel more confident. And when you're confident, everything in your life will get better. But I'm worried. There are a lot of these ultra manly, masculine dudes out there on social media, guys like Wes Watson, who I've never met in person, and I'm not saying, he's not confident. But when I see guys like him and some of these other guys that just seem like huge assholes, it makes me realize that there is a disconnect. A lot of the things that you're seeing that you think or you're perceiving as confident is actually something very different than that. It's actually arrogance, it's cockiness. And the two are very different. There's a huge difference between being a confident person and an arrogant person. And today, my goal is pretty simple: to help you be able to better identify the difference. I'm also at the end of this video going to give you some actionable steps, some simple things that you can do to truly feel better about yourself. So number one, a confident man doesn't feel the need to constantly prove himself. He is self-assured. He knows that he's good at whatever he's good at, but he also knows when he's not great at something. Somebody who's cocky or just arrogant is always boasting or bragging or trying to prove to you that they are what they say that they are. And this comes across as overcompensating. A lot of times you're going to see that they're going to drive the flashiest cars. They're going to always be talking about money or material possessions. They might use TRT or some type of performance-enhancing drugs really to exaggerate their physiques. It's all about overcompensation because they truly are insecure. So it's also pretty easy to tell whether or not somebody is confident or arrogant when you're speaking to somebody, having a conversation. Somebody who's confident, they actively listen. They also are open to what you have to say, and they want to know your opinion. But on the flip side, somebody who's cocky or arrogant typically are very dominating in a conversation. A lot of times they're going to talk down to you, and it's very self-centered. A lot of the things they talk about is themselves. Somebody who's confident is humble. It doesn't mean that he doesn't understand or he isn't aware of his strengths. He knows what they are. But he's not somebody that's going to brag about them or always talk about them. And this is the big difference and the thing that separates somebody who's cocky or arrogant. They're always bragging or boasting or trying to basically prove that there's something. And this is a huge thing that you got to look out for, right? When you talk to somebody, when you see somebody posting things on social media, why are they posting it? That's the thing you got to start to unpack. Confident men let their actions speak louder than their words. They earn respect through the results as opposed to somebody who's cocky. All right, cocky people talk a big game, but typically they don't deliver. Confident people are inclusive. They lift others up. All right, as opposed to cocky people that typically are going to talk down to people, put other people down. And this is something that they do because it lifts them up. They feel superior and they feel better about themselves when they make you feel worse about you. Confident people are open to constructive feedback and criticism. But an arrogant person, a cocky person, whenever they hear something that's negative or somebody says something that isn't positive about them, they dismiss it. They say you're crazy, or they remove themselves from the situation, right? They don't have the ability to look themselves in the mirror. And that's one of the biggest things. The biggest takeaway in terms of identifying whether or not somebody is truly confident or not is self-awareness. Somebody who's confident is self-aware. They know who they are, but they also know who they're not. Confident people, they admit when they make a mistake. They admit when they're wrong. They have the ability to say, I'm sorry. A cocky person, on the other hand, does not. They never admit when they're wrong. Typically, they're going to try to prove that they're right even when they're wrong. And if you actually show them or they realize that they're wrong and they made a mistake, they won't admit it. They'll just leave, or they'll still defend their position because it's basically them trying to preserve their ego. And that's one of the other things you got to understand about an arrogant person. Everything they do is about lifting up or building their ego, and it's a self-serving, self-centered type of existence. Gratitude, that's something that is so incredibly synonymous with confidence, and that is you are grateful for what you have, what you've figured out, and how you've gotten there. You also give credit where credit is due to the people that have supported you along the way. On the flip side, somebody who's arrogant, it's about entitlement. They feel like they deserve special treatment, and they always need constant recognition and oh, you're so great, you're amazing, and it's ridiculous. Guys, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there online that are perpetrating or expressing themselves, and you may think that it's confidence when the reality is something very different than that. It is screaming insecurity. They are arrogant, cocky assholes that don't deserve your time, your attention, or your money. You've got to look for people that express true confidence. Now, how are you going to find that? How are you going to develop it in yourself? All right, a few things you can do. Number one is work out. Start working out. That is the one thing I can tell you that truly changed my life and my perception of myself. It was working out. It was taking care of myself. It not only changes your body, it changes your mind. Number two is dressing well. When you take an active role and interest in looking great, gentlemen, a lot of things fall into place. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, I look good, it's about respect. It's about basically letting the world know who you are and what you're all about. If you don't respect yourself, gentlemen, you are never going to get respect from other people. Setting small, measurable goals is something that helped me be more confident about myself. It also basically allowed me to string a few of these little goals together and succeed at something. The more things that you succeed at, the better off you're going to be and the more confident you're going to become. Something else that made me more confident was failing, honestly. That was one of the biggest things that affected my confidence. Now, in the moment, it makes you feel insecure, it makes you feel scared, it makes you feel like a loser, but what happens is if you don't give up, if you actually get back up and try again, you realize, you know what? I didn't die. I fucked it up and that's okay. I'm going to do better this time. Failure is one of the things that you can do that will make you more confident. Embracing failure as part of the growth process is something else that's going to change the way that you think about failing and taking chances. It's also going to help you feel better about yourself. Something else that will is surrounding yourself with better people. If you're surrounded with losers or people that make you feel bad about yourself or people that aren't going anywhere, it's not going to help you feel good about yourself. When you surround yourself with positive, optimistic people, this is something, once again, that is going to level you up in terms of your confidence. And this includes your parents, all right, or your family. Unfortunately, we don't get to choose them. Sometimes we are, in a situation where our parents might be like super negative or kind of toxic, or our brothers and sisters or our family members. You've just got to accept that that's them, and move on. It's not that you're never going to talk to them, but you've got to protect yourself, which means you've got to surround yourself and find your tribe. Learn to say no. Saying no is a powerful thing. For me, it took until I was like 25 or 26 until I finally was able to do it. Up until that point, I was like a bitch. I was everybody's bitch. I couldn't stand up for myself, like my life depended on it. And why? Well, there's a lot of trauma that I had, from my past and, abusive stepfathers and things like that. But when I finally decided that I wanted to be happy and I was going to take control of my life and my confidence and my happiness, I learned to say no. I basically did it the first time. I thought I was going to pass out. It was so hard because you think that, oh my gosh, like what happens if I say no? People aren't going to like me. I was a people pleaser. That's, my MO. But now I please myself. It doesn't mean that I'm a dick, but I'm going to take care of me first. And if I can help other people in the process, that is amazing. If you truly want to level up your confidence, your self-esteem, look for opportunities to help others. It was the thing that truly changed my life. The deal is, guys, I look out there on social media and unfortunately it is very muddy in terms of the water. You look at people, you see them driving fancy cars, you see them doing all sorts of amazing things, and you think, oh, they must be confident. I can tell you from experience, having a lot of money doesn't make you confident. Driving nice cars, also not confident. Being super jacked or super lean or being amazing looking, I don't know about that, but I can tell you that none of that stuff matters. Even the most amazing dude out there has insecurities, but the one that's truly confident doesn't try to hide them. He also doesn't try to put you down in order to lift himself up. Guys, you've got to be able to tell the difference because there are a lot of scumbags out there. But you, if you're confident, you are a diamond in the rough.